All right, everyone. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the Voices Heard panel, and ours is based on Filmmaker Pitfalls, and we have our three guests here. They're going to introduce themselves and also what they do, what they contribute to the filmmakers as well. So right now, I'm going to introduce you to Ross.
I'm the founder and festival director of the Milwaukee International Short Film Festival and created Voices Heard.
Oh, I'm Hisonni Mustafa, and I'm a filmmaker.
Nice.
My name is Erin McKenzie. I am an executive producer and director. I have content on Tubi and Amazon.
Nice. Oh, and by the way, my name is Sammy. I'm the host today. I'm also an actor, a Milwaukee actor, a professional actor in Chicago as well. So if anybody needs an actor, just look for me. So other than that, let's get on with the questions, shall we? All right, our first question. Can you describe your creative process from concept to final product?
I'll let Hisonni do that.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a big question. So, concept. I'm at a place in my film career in which every project comes from unresolved thoughts or emotions that linger within me. I can use film to answer some of the questions that I don't have answers to in real life, create scenarios that didn't happen in real life but feel very cathartic, and it allows me to connect to the subject matter in a very, very strong way. I feel like before I even put my fingers to the keys to write a script, I am intimately connected to the concept and the subject material. After that, I tend to go into, After that, I tend to go into just mood boarding. I grab images, I use artificial intelligence to create images closer to what I'm looking to do in my mind, of the locations, of the faces, of the clothing. After that, I begin location scouting, and I also begin scouting for the team that will help me make the film, and in some cases, the money to make the film, or in-kind services, which is where I'm at right now on a project I'm working on. Once I get to production or genuine pre-pro, that is all like development. Genuine pre-pro is now putting dates to things and creating folders for all of the locations and for all of the wardrobe we're trying to lock. And then from there, it's just setting my dates, getting my insurance, shooting, and then post-production, I edit. I think I've edited every film I've ever made. I've had help a couple times, but I just take my time, edit the project at my own pace, give myself time to make mistakes, and then do my best to figure out what festival circuit, because there's a different festival circuit for every type of film and every type of filmmaker, what best serves this story? Who is this story for? Who's the audience for this story? And then I just try to get it in front of people.
Nice. Erin?
Can you read?
Oh, sure. Can you describe your creative process from concept to final product?
As far as a creative process, I've written about 3 of the movies and films that we produced. So I took experiences from my real life scenarios and then kind of intertwined some storytelling in there. But I just started with that, and we work with a script writer, so I send my notes to the script writer and kind of just guide that process of the script being completed. And from there, when I read it, I got to see it. If I don't see it in my mind, then I can't see it being filmed. So that's, to me, is one of the most important things. I'm there through production, post-production. I work closely with the editor. Every edit we do, I kind of look over it to make sure we're not missing or overlooking anything, any bloopers or anything of that sort. And so I'm there from the beginning all the way to the end. And I just like to make sure that the story is being told in a way that's powerful and can connect and be relatable to people.
Okay.
My process, people can get ideas from anywhere and any place. That's the main thing, is something even in this room right now, might give you an idea for a short film or a feature film. Is for me, my ideas just come from anywhere, but my process is that I don't generally write anything down first until I think it through fully in my head. The characters, the plots, and all that. Because I'm a visual thinker more so, and I rely on that more. Then I write the script. And I write the script mostly for the edit. So I know I know what it's going to look like after it's shot, and I know how I'm going to cut it together after it's shot.
Do you have it in your mind, the actual dialogue that you would have for this film? So you kind of like...
Yeah, I think all that through.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So our next question. How do you manage a low-budget film while still producing high-quality content?
Erin?
How do you manage a low-budget film without, with delivering quality?
Yeah.
You have to be realistic
Yeah.
about your locations, your actors, your crew, and really what makes sense for the budget that you have. For us, the biggest things with casting is the faces and who is going to draw people to want to watch the movie. And then after that, it's about the locations and what is cinematically going to look good. But I think we pour a lot of our money into the actors and then also editing and post-production and having a good crew with good equipment. Audio and lighting is everything because without good audio, people are going to lose, they're not going to pay attention. And without good lighting, again, you're going to lose people's attention. So that's, I think, like holding those two things, those have to be up to par over everything.
Yeah.
If you have bad audio, you are most likely not going to get a film festival, or you might not get distribution too.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it all comes down to story. Story is at the top, and then great performers are right below that. And the reason why I say that is if you get your audience, if you grab them by their collar with the story, you'd be amazed at how much crap you mess up that they don't notice. Same thing with the performers. I've always said that my performers are my production value. Sound and visuals, obviously, are a huge part. It's movies, right? But art is subjective. I may never think to shoot with purple light in the shot, but there's filmmakers out there who make it look beautiful every day. So at this point in my filmmaking career, I put less emphasis on how my film is going to look and mostly how my characters are going to make you feel. And if my story has a question that the audience needs an answer to. They lean into that. They focus really hard when you give them a task like that. And you could have a boom in the shot and they will miss it because I've done it before. You can have continuity issues. They picked it up with their right hand, but now they're picking it up with their left. But if the performance in their face is so amazing, you miss a lot. And the reason why I'm focusing on that is at the beginning levels, some of these mistakes are not avoidable. They're a part of growing. We're entitled to those mistakes. And we're entitled to refine our basics. My gymnastics family is here. Filmmaking is a lot like gymnastics to me. I made that documentary that screened a few minutes ago with 2 other people. I personally handled the audio, and I personally handled my shots and the lighting. And yes, I had help. But to me, I see that as just refining my basics. I get in there, I know exactly where to put the mic. And in a lot of cases, on low-budget projects, and she's right with the audio, they're right, absolutely right with the audio, but you work from reverse. You say, hey, my audio is more important than this shot. So here, I'm putting my mic right next to this dude. You figure out where to put the camera so you don't see my mic. And you can still get beautiful shots that way. So I'd say focusing on the story. If the story is something you have to tell and you're interested in, it's probably going to go pretty well. And if your actors are amazing, you can get away with making mistakes and no one will notice. You can even have really, really imperfect visuals.
Mm-hmm.
and we will consider it, oh, that's a stylistic choice, and you could be like, I just didn't have any lights. Or, the roaming focus is so moody, I just couldn't keep them in focus. We get away with a lot of that stuff. And even in audio, I mean, stylistically, you can make some of the bad audio, add some reverb to it. Maybe it's supposed to be dreamy. Mm-hmm. But if your story sucks, I'm checking out in the first 10 to 15 seconds, and I'm probably not coming back.
One of the things, I see hundreds of films every year. And I've accepted films that maybe are not as polished as other films.
My films.
No, your films, Hermanita and Triggered, are beautifully shot films. But sometimes it's important to probably give someone some exposure. They might need that little nudge to be in the film festival. And they are experiencing their first film festival too at the same time, which they can go see the other films and go, okay, maybe that's how to do it or something. So I do that, but still I kind of am hesitant if the audio is bad throughout, like they didn't sound mix or it's camera sound. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows what camera sound is, right? Where you're just recording directly from the camera and not using directional mics or anything like that. So that is still difficult for me to get past if the sound is not mixed well. In terms of production, there's little tricks you can do. I've made a lot of no-budget films. Anaya right there starred in Zombie Frat House. You can see it on Troma. We spent like nothing making that. And we run around with a smoke machine. Smoke adds production value. You can't believe how much production value stuff like that does. You know? Little tricks there and there.
So, follow up a question, because I think one thing I want to know, being a low budget, how do you guys handle food, catering? I mean, how do you feed your actors? Because I get hungry. Mm-hmm. And
I fed you, Chip.
Yes, you did. And I spit it out a couple of times, but for a couple of takes. But no, I mean, because you do. I mean, if it's a long day, how do you guys? You guys have to eat as well. So I figured the whole crew, right?
Yeah.
So how do you budget that into?
That's the budget for my films.
Yeah. Yes.
It's pretty much
food.
Yeah. I mean, you do some things special. Like some days you bring a grill and you cook out and make it special, because I'm sure people are sick and tired of sandwiches every day.
Erin?
Well, we hired a local caterer who came, and he would come and provide breakfast, and then he would come again for dinner. Sometimes he would come, like when we were on set. Other times we had a meeting spot. So we just would try to make sure everyone ate, because we would be shooting for 12 to 15 hours. I mean, probably more than you should be shooting.
Yeah.
I know Hollywood standards. Real sleepy, but food was definitely one that we had to keep in rotation.
Okay. Yeah.
What I love about film festivals like this, and a lot of the film festivals I get into, is that you can have access to them at the beginning stages of your career. And I think the best way to achieve that is to keep it small and simple. Like, low budget, I look at the equivalent word or phrase for that as limitations. So the way I get ahead of my limitations is I don't get smacked by them on set. I decide my limitations before I go into it. I say, okay, like with the Stephen McCain project, I would look at the setups, I would know what I want to shoot that day, and I go, I'm only moving the camera 4 times, and we're out by 7. And with those limitations come a lot of creativity. I'm not panicked or anxious because I have those limitations. I've set those limitations. When it comes to food and feeding people, I go into projects knowing I'm going to keep them small. My crew was 3 people. I had 1 subject that wasn't on Zoom. If I can't afford that, I need to make my project smaller. Like I can't afford a crew member, which makes me have to refine my basics a little bit more. It's almost like as my films grow and the audience grows for them and the accolades grow for them, that's only happened because at one point it was just me and my subject. And as I got better and my projects got better, people gravitated toward it. Now I have a sound guy myself, and eventually, and at that point your budget kind of grows with you. I think the worst thing we could do is come out of the gate trying to have a 10 to 15 person crew and a cast of 8 people. We're creating problems for ourselves. So, and also the 99-cent store used to be my main go-to spot for everything. So, all these maybe.
All right. So, next question: what is your approach to casting and working with actors, Ross?
I would say that probably I have to ask Anaya, about 90% of my cast are friends. Yeah.
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 And then the other 10% are friends of
Friends. Yeah.
Yeah. I rarely do a casting call.
Yeah.
I look at what I do. I have a company of actors. Yeah. You're my friend. You're an actor. Yeah. All my friends are actors.
And do you also do it because based on comfortability of that person, how they work with you and everything like that as well?
It becomes more of a shorthand.
Okay.
You know what I want.
Yeah.
And Anaya knows what I want. It's very rarely that I have to go to my actors and say, can you adjust this a little bit more? I mean, a lot of it comes across in the script too.
Yeah.
If the actor reads the script and understands that character, we spend less prep time figuring out who this character is.
Right.
So.
Go ahead.
Casting for me, casting is a great and important category because whenever I think about casting, it's the hardest category for me to fulfill because I never want to do that legwork. Casting is so hard. You have to tell people no. You have to wait for people to get back to you. Are you even going to find what you want? So I've had to reframe the way I look at it as every aspect of making a film, location scouting, mood boarding, putting together my crew and my cast. I'm just getting practice at getting better at those things. So even if I have people in mind for a role, I do a casting anyway because I might be casting my next 2 films from the people I meet at this. And also we also forget that people run into problems. We had a gentleman say that his whole film changed because an actor dropped out.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen to me anymore because, and this is going to sound cruel, but when I make a film, I do a casting call. And even if the actor is helping me produce the film, put money in, they're the lead, I still cast for that role. Because if something happens to them, I put money into this and stuff too. There's a lot of other people attached. That movie needs to happen. Who do I slot in from position number 2? From the backup position, from the bench, basically. And it doesn't mean that they weren't as good of an actor. It just means I'm trying to tell this particular type of story. And if something happens to them and they can't make it to set that day, I need 2 to 3 other people, or at least 2 other people that I could call and say, hey, can you do this role? Changes my movie a little bit, but not for the worse, just different. So I kind of love, I hate doing casting because there's aspects of it that are innately inhumane, but I love doing it because I can feel myself leveling up and it expands my network so quickly. So many people who know of my films, so many people that can be in my films. It's getting to the point where now my next couple of films, I know who can play these roles because I saw them and they were incredible. And they weren't right for this, but they're perfect for that.
I think, in Milwaukee, we have a small actors pool as it is because a lot of people aren't shooting movies around here in general. When it comes to casting, it can be difficult working with new people because you don't know if they're going to be reliable. When we shoot movies, Brandon knows we shoot for 10 days consecutively. So that pressure of if someone doesn't show up and if something happens, it's always that underlining thing like, Lord, please, hopefully nothing happens to all of us in the next 10 days. But it can be difficult because people don't understand like how shooting works in general. If you give someone a certain time and they get there at that time, they think lights, camera, action, I'm right in front of the camera. And sometimes it doesn't work like that. Yeah. Sometimes you're waiting. Sometimes it's hurry up to get here just so you can wait another 2 hours. And I'm sorry about that. So casting, So casting has been one of the things that has been a little bit more difficult for me, but we've managed to secure actors and reoccurring actors because they show up prepared, and they're reliable. And like I said, because we have a small actors pool here in Milwaukee, it can be hard for people to understand the concepts of shooting and for them to come through when they say they will. But I've been doing this for 5 years now. Luckily we've created probably, I say, a good 20 to 30 people that I'm like, you know what, for that role, I know that she'll do good at that or whatever. I would love to do casting people for backups because I come from I have a strong theater background as well, so I know having an understudy is very important. Right. But when you're on a low budget film, people want to get paid to be understudies. It's like being on call. People want to have that on call money, and sometimes we don't have the budget allotted for that. Right. So we go out on a whim sometimes, but it's worked so far.
and to go with that, with the industry itself, doing commercial work, you could be there 8 hours for a 5-minute commercial that you're only in for 2 seconds.
Yeah, in one scene.
And that's it. But you have to do it as an actor because you love doing it, right? Yeah, exactly. Because this is hey, this is fun. I don't care if I'm sitting around, talking to everybody, and it's like.
I've been on both sides of it too.
Yeah.
I was a theater major at UWM, and I remember that there's a lot of mysterious aspects of casting. Why did they not call me back? Right. Why haven't I heard from them? Why haven't I gotten a call sheet yet? And I now know at this point in my career that that's all on purpose. When I do my castings, I cast 3 people no matter what for every single role. The only person who hears from me is the first one at bat. Because if that first person, if they get a job better than mine, that pays more than mine, and they want to take it, I'm calling that second person, and I need that second person to believe they were my first. So I don't tell them. I let them come in with their confidence. I let them come in knowing, and if someone else dropped out, if I'm casting a mom and a son, and the mom drops out, and now the first person I cast doesn't match the new mom. Mm-hmm. You get what I mean? Casting is just so complex. Right. And I wish I could tell anyone who's acting in a movie to never take it personally for that reason, and that they're already cast in my next film. Right. But things happen, so we stay quiet. I remember, not getting my call sheet until what felt like too late, but ultimately, I got to put that call sheet out one time and one time only, despite everything that's happening during the shoot day. As I'm shooting, my shoot day for tomorrow is changing over and over again. If I send out a call sheet when it's polite for the actors, they're going to get 3 more that day because it changed, and they're not going to know which one to follow. So I have to wait until I get home, I've dumped the footage, looked at what we couldn't get today, figure out how I'm going to put it into tomorrow, and then call the actors and say, hey, or send off those emails saying, here's the call sheet. It's never to be rude. It's never to throw you guys off. And like I said, I've been on the other side. Where's my call sheet? They're so unprepared. It's not that at all. Or if they're going to cast me, why haven't they called me yet? Why is it so mysterious? Yeah, those are probably some of the reasons. And if you're a filmmaker, why I might encourage you to do the same. Hold off. Hold off on
as an actor, you don't take it personally because what the filmmakers are, whatever they want for this particular role, right? I just got a gig in Chicago because they wanted a doctor, right? Filipino. So, nerd, typecast. But I got it like, because they want me as a driver. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. But I audition for everything. I don't ever say no. I don't care what it is. They'll send me, hey, they want you to audition for this. Okay. Just put, and you have to take it as, your job. This is what you do as an actor. You want to, and don't take it ever personally, because once you get something, you'll get it again. And the best part is a casting director or anybody in that industry will know you.
Yeah.
Will start to understand you as an actor. It's like, oh, I work with Sammy. Yeah, he's great for this. And you don't know in this industry who you're going to be talking to or collaborating with. So treat everyone as you would like to be treated, right? Mm-hmm. So
I would like to share one little story, because you played Triggered here. You really love Triggered, right? With about the mom and the teacher. The woman who played the mom in my last film that played this film festival, her name is Shante Deloche. She came to an audition in 2013, and she was my favorite actor I saw that day. I didn't cast her. Like, that happens. That happens to me all the time. My favorite person that performed for me that day was just totally wrong for this movie. And it took me from 2013 until 2023 to cast her in something. Yeah. But she was a lead, and she won Best Acting Awards. And now I sit back going, I think I have a gem that can push my career forward, and I'm just too dumb to come up with something cool for her to do. Like, I don't know what to do with her, or the projects that I would do with her are too big. So I think casting is just a brutal aspect of filmmaking that doesn't really get any nicer, in my opinion. But we got to do it anyway. I think we should do a casting call before everything we do.
All right.
Which one? Let's go down to more of the,
Okay, this one, I'll do that. Okay, so our next question, communications breakdown with festivals, the importance of keeping up with emails. So how do you guys deal with that?
That's challenging today because more people don't really use email to communicate, but businesses still do. And when you program a film festival and people don't return your email, you wonder what's going on. Sometimes if I don't hear from a filmmaker who we're like, oh, we like this film and want to put it in, and you don't respond back to an email, okay, next film. So it's very important, even if you don't use email in your daily lives as much as you used to, check, because that's still a way many businesses still communicate.
Yeah.
Like if you went and had something done with a studio, or they're generally not going to send you a text. They're not going to text you a call sheet or anything like that. Yeah. The production manager or first AD is going to email people.
Yes.
They do it in mass,
Yeah, they're not going to use Discord, which I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. You guys want to answer that?
I view film festivals as the marketing department for my movie. I treat them like my crew. I treat them with respect. If I hire a DP and I start micromanaging him, or if I communicate too much, I ruin my DP. I ruin his ability to do his job. If I communicate too little, I ruin his ability to do his job. I see it the same way with film festivals. I chose that festival because there's something about it that I really, really like. They do something really, really well, and at a certain point I have to shut up and let them do it. So my goal is to only communicate with them when they absolutely need me. I stay open to it because, again, if I view them as my marketing department, when they hit me up, how bad does it look if you're the director of a film and you don't get back to people? It'd be pretty terrible, right? But I don't, even if I have questions, I give them the benefit of the doubt that they just haven't answered it for everyone yet. So I just wait. I trust them.
I have to say that, how many films have we programmed with you here? Probably four now. When I get a film from Hisonni, I'm just going to use you as an example because you're right here and you can respond if I mess anything up. when I get a film from Hisonni, his submission form or entry form that comes through Film Freeway, that's pretty much the only way people submit now is through Film Freeway, because Without a Box is dead. And some of the other upstarts aren't really getting the traction. But everything is in his submission thing. There's a poster, behind the scenes stills, even stills from the film, synopsis, director's bio, director's headshot, trailer. I don't have to work or bother him, say, hey, where's your bio? You know, when we're promoting a film festival, you need that material. And when I see a film that's just sort of sent to me, and maybe it's just a film and a brief description, sometimes I think I might pass on that one because, you know, it's going to be a hassle trying to get that stuff from people.
Yep.
I'd rather work with filmmakers who send everything to me right away because they're easier to deal with.
You know, you're their crew, they're your crew. We're both trying to make the world know about how dope of a film we made. And the only way to do that is to just be clear and concise. And part of being concise is making sure people have what they need right away. You know?
Does anyone know what an EPK is?
Yes.
Priscilla, you know, right?
Sorry, what was the abbreviation?
EPK.
Yes.
Oh,
Electronic press.
yeah. One surprising thing is, for me over the years, is how little film schools teach film students to be prepared for film festivals. There is a lot of film students I get, I say, where's your EPK? And they go like, what's that?
I don't know what that is.
Electronic press.
Yeah. I'm not a film student.
That's everything I mentioned, but Hisonni sends me.
Yeah.
You know, it's your press materials. You need that even if you have a feature film.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to sell your film, right, Erin, you need all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of what Ross said, like email is going to be like the number one communication in this industry on all levels. And when it comes to having an email that is composed of everything that you need, kind of like an elevator pitch, but in an email with like a two sentence short, your synopsis, your photos, all these other things that you want to add in there. People won't even respond to you if you don't have these things because you don't look polished. And I went to MATC, I graduated in 2020, and they didn't even teach us that. I learned that just kind of hitting and missing, trying to cast people, reaching out to agents and other things, and I wasn't getting responses. And I'm like, why am I not getting responses? And it's because my email did not look professional enough. It didn't look like I was a producer. So you got to come looking polished, definitely.
It's something they really need to teach because, quite frankly, there's a lot of UWM students who
What the hell are you guys paying for? Jeez.
that ask me what an EPK is.
Right. I was like, oh God. That's like
their professor should be teaching them that. I mean, EPKs are very important in short and features.
Yeah.
And I would say you have to start thinking about that when you start developing your film. If you have a spare time with your actors, go get the headshots done. Go into a room and start stamping off headshots of everybody. Yeah. So you have that on file, you know?
He's right. I mean, the reason why he has that with all of my films is I don't actually start writing my movies until I have that stuff. I like, for example, keyframe. Keyframe of a movie is typically what inspires it. Mm-hmm. Like with Stephen McCain, with the documentary, it was him watching himself fall off high bar. Like him watching a projection of himself not making the 96 Olympics. In my head, I had the synopsis in that, a guy reliving and trying to make sense of his career and his life and his ups and his downs. I had a poster. You know, I had a shorter version of that synopsis. And I even got my title from just that one image. And then I started writing the direction I wanted things to go in nuance. Like a script is a very nuanced and detailed thing, but we jump to that before we have the broad strokes of it. And all the information they're asking for, in my opinion, are the broad strokes. Like an image that kind of encapsulates the movie, you know, a sentence or two that encapsulates the movie, 4 sentences that encapsulate the movie.
Just think how much more difficult you are as a filmmaker trying to scramble after production to get all that stuff together, bothering actors for a headshot, you know, or getting bios from crew members. That's a hassle because you probably are not going to hear from them right away. Get that at the start of production.
Right. And speaking of your EPKs, I mean, do you guys, how much do you double check and triple check your file to see if it's perfect? You know, like making sure that what you sent is good. You know, like are you like constantly worried about it? You're thinking about it, like, hey, is this, you know, watching it over and over again just to make sure you set the right file?
I typically have another set of eyes look at things, and 2 if possible, because, you know, when you're focusing on one thing, you start to get tunnel vision.
Yeah.
When I used to do a lot of editing, that was like the main thing. It's like you're looking at it for, you know, 4, 5, 6, 8 hours sometimes a day, and you're like, okay, it looks so good, and then someone else looks at it and they catch things that you miss. It's just your brain has tunnel vision when you have a goal, when you're like, okay, this is what I want it to be. You could be reading something, and in your head you're reading what you want it to be, but it don't actually say that.
Yeah.
You need more people to look at anything, whether whether it's just you're typing some stuff, your bios or whatever, or an edit. It should be more than one set of eyes.
When for example, I've had many issues in the past where I export a file and there are glitches. Every filmmaker goes through that. So the interview we did, 3 weeks ago or so, or a month ago, 10 minutes long maybe. I watched that like 6 times just to make sure I'm exporting it. I'll say, that's good. Let me watch it in the timeline one more time. Let me watch it as an export. And let me, you know, look at it one more time before I upload it.
For me, it's so geeky, but I mean, I guess the base in my life, the most influential time in my life was my time as a gymnast. They know that you come into the gym and the first thing you do is the same thing you do every day, regardless of how good you are at it. Like a handstand, it's a basic skill. You can get it, you can hold it forever, and you still work on it every day. I look at movies the same way. Like, if I go too long without touching a camera, I'm going to become sucky at visualizing things. If I go too long without touching sound equipment, I'm going to become sucky at learning how to sound design my films. And, you know, all of that goes into the story. Like, I want to know how it sounds. I want to know how it looks. When it comes to this aspect, you know, communicating with film festivals, checking our stuff, I take it a step farther. When I make a feature film, the film that played at this festival may be changed by the time the next festival plays it, because I've watched it, saw something, and fixed it. Or saw something I didn't even like and fixed it. Saw something on the big screen that looks different on the little screen and fixed it. When I made a feature film in 2020 called Takeout Girl.
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. Hulu picked it up, and that's a different movie that's been screened at film festivals. I was constantly changing it. So like the mentality that you'll never have a perfect handstand, you'll never have a perfect movie, but it's a great opportunity to kind of refine it before the next audience sees it. So I don't look at it as, oh, watch it again. Same thing with the log line. I read it, and I go, you can do better than that, but I don't know why. By the third festival, I finally figure out why. Same thing with the synopsis. Same thing with the poster even. So I think I'm just constantly tweaking things, changing things, and enjoying the feeling of I didn't just get better while I made the film. I got better while I was marketing the film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a better filmmaker before the next film because of this. Like, I saw something on that screen that did not play well to me, and I don't know how to fix it, but I do know it's like a itch on my back I can't get to, and I'm gonna fix it at some point. So anyway, that's the philosophy behind it, so that it doesn't feel like work.
Have you ever thought about a reshoot? Have you ever thought about a scene? I'm like, hey, I could read though.
All the time.
Yeah. Have you done it before?
100%.
Yeah.
So I started in the theater department at UWM because I was so poor I didn't have equipment to make movies. But I knew I wanted to make movies as fast as my brain could conceptualize them. So the only asset I had was my face and my voice. Went there and they taught me how to make money off of it. So I booked commercials and television shows, and I would I would spend as little money as possible. My girlfriend's right there. She's funny because I was in a meeting with her once, and a guy asked me, "How do you own so many cameras and equipment and tools?" And she was like, "He spends no money. He doesn't go out to eat. He doesn't he cuts his own hair. He's been in 4 car accidents, and he takes the insurance money and buys equipment instead of getting a dent in his car."
Oh my God!
Are you causing the accidents?
No, I am not. And that's all true because I want to be in a position to be like, I need a reshoot.
Yeah.
Take my equipment, and even if I don't have my lead actor, I can be like, oh, your hands look just like my lead actor. Let me go get that insert I missed. And no one catches it. Like, what I love about my movies is I love how I fool you into thinking I did something right. Mm-hmm. My favorite part of my movies is that a character could be walking past this right here, and to you guys, they just walked and turned. But to me, this was August 2021, October 2022. It happens all the time. Yeah. And I laugh. That's why I sit in the back. Because I'm waiting for one person to turn around and be like, what sort of bullshit is this? And it never happens. And it's almost as good as making movies is getting away with it. I think we trick ourselves into thinking we're supposed to be perfect when we should be embracing the fact that we want to get away with being imperfect. And every step, like the refinement of every step, it makes us better at cheating the audience in our next project. So sorry for getting too animated and stuff.
No, that's great.
Yeah. Let me interject something quick about going back to the file. When you submit a film, short or feature, to a film festival, I'll tell you this, there's a lot of dirty secrets in film programming. Many programmers are just going to watch the first 2 minutes of the film, and that's it. And they decide on those 2 minutes because they have hundreds of films to go through. I tend to watch everything up until the closing credits, because the story the film might redeem itself at the end. So bear in mind that when you send your film out, you've got 2 minutes to grab them. Otherwise, they're turning it off. Now, when you upload your film, this is something that happened here. I'm not going to name the director, but this is an incident that did happen. Since I only watched it to the credits, I thought the film was done. I didn't know there was an end credit scene.
Oh, like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, and because I saw the film, I thought it was done. Now it's like, okay, I got to go to the next film. And when we downloaded the film, there was a glitch in the end credit scene. And we didn't know that till we built the blocks, because my content manager, Glenn, builds all the blocks into one block, all the films in one block. And then he sends it back to me for me to watch the whole thing again. And I watched it, and then all of a sudden I saw the whole picture kind of freeze and the audio gone. I was like, what's that? So I went back and I looked at the file, and I was like, oh, there's an end credit scene. It's in his file. Mm. And so I saw that I could download a 720 version, and it was very late in the process to fix this. I gave Glenn, the 720 version, he used the audio from that to fix that and kind of melded the two together. No other film festival would probably do that for you. If they saw that your file has a glitch, you're gone. We just were so far into the process that, okay, we have to fix something here.
So in the next question, so this is going to be based on that because you're saying that people won't watch it after 2 minutes or whatever. Generally, right? And then you watch through. But if they don't follow the rules and guidelines of the festival, do they even get to be submitted? Do they even, do you just toss that out right away? It's like you don't even watch it 2 minutes. You're just like, then you follow the rules and guidelines.
Well, loosely, rules and guidelines are there. And I generally have a feeling about 60 to 70% of filmmakers don't read them anyway. Because I look at the films that they send, and it's like, yeah, you didn't read anything, you just submitted it. Because it was a low price to submit the film. And you're just like, oh, I'm going to send my film there, and they'll program it. It's like, because Voice is Heard, when I created it, we made it to be a showcase for local filmmakers of color. One year I got a white guy sending in 3 feature films. And I'm like, this is a short film festival. we were looking at his headshot, and it's like, he looks white. And I'm like, I don't want to offend him and ask him if he's a white guy.
Yeah. I'm 1/8.
So I said, listen, we don't take feature films. I went that route instead. And he says, why? It's like, well, we're a short film festival.
Right.
We're not going to play 3 90-minute films.
Yeah.
And he got pretty mad, and he said, listen, this is a film festival for people of color. It's like, well, I got German ancestry. That's not the same thing. So obviously, a lot of people don't read the rules and guidelines. And there are films that I kind of pass on because of that. Sometimes I'm lenient, sometimes I'm not. I lean more on the business side of things because I have to fill seats to keep this going. But if it's a creative film and they're bending the rules a little bit, I'm sort of lenient because Hisonni's film is longer than 15 minutes, but not that much longer. So it's like, oh, okay, it's a very exceptional film. I'll be lenient that way. But if you do other things that are against our guidelines, it's like, well, I have to look at how many seats I can fill, more so than anything. Mm-hmm. And it's getting much more difficult nowadays to fill seats because you have so many other film festivals. They're not really competitors, but Milwaukee has so many, or this southern area of Wisconsin has so many film festivals. Nothing against that. But it's also your sliver of what people have seen before gets narrower and narrower. And the bottom line is people rather prefer to see things they haven't seen before. Yeah. So I try to get as many premieres in my festival as possible because they're seeing something new and that sells more tickets too.
So that's a short question answer for you guys. So is that, do you guys read the rules and guidelines? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. All right. So you have this film, it's finished and everything. When do you get a rep for your film? Like representative or something that will actually...
Film rep,
yeah.
I'm blessed to say that I have distribution. Okay. So I go through a distribution company that's based here in Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how else to, what I'm saying? I've never had to reach out to someone to a representative for my film.
It's different for me. Like I look at myself as a work in progress, and I look at my films as my films are pretty small entities. Like I've had like pretty much no budget my entire career. So
Did you have a film rep for Takeout Girl?
I did not. I think I'm a great case study in the sense that you could sell a film to Hulu without having a sales rep come in and take 25% of your profits. I've never had a sales rep on any
Anyone
film
know what a film rep is?
They shop your film around to distributors for you for a fee, but they also tag on fees on top of fees in some cases. Wherever they have to go to try and meet those distributors, your film has to pay for it.
Yeah.
Whatever they eat, wherever they sleep.
They were much more prominent in the 90s with the independent cinema boom. And John Pearson was a notable film rep. He got Clerks out there. She's Gotta Have It out there.
He's an artist, though.
Yeah.
They don't make them like him anymore.
No, they don't. He was really a champion of that stuff and got those films sold. And gave Spike Lee a career and Kevin Smith a career. The film reps nowadays, they're basically the same, but they deal with so many products. It's good to have a film rep, don't get me wrong. But be careful in researching your film rep.
I think you should have to grow into it. I think it's something that at a certain budget level and at a certain experience level can be kind of a distracting thing. You go chasing that. What aren't you doing on your film? Like I try to keep everything as tight and as concentrated as possible, and having a sales rep chasing them and a distribution deal. I don't even really chase distribution deals. I just put out a movie as best as I can. The festivals are what market my films to distributors. I have had the only films I've ever made that got distribution happened as a result of distributors coming to festivals and saying, I want to see this movie. And then they watch it and they get back to me and they go, we want to put your movie out there. And I think we can get it to these places.
Question for Erin, actually, if you don't mind,
Sure.
Sammy, because what he said, the question popped in my head. Years ago, it was much different selling a film. You managed to get a lot of content on Tubi and all that. Have you seen a great difference in distribution in the last 5 years since you've been doing it, since it was beforehand?
Originally, when I started with the company that I was working with, he had distribution through someone else, and then it was just like we constantly felt like we were getting janked around on like, well, the percentages and how much money did this movie really make, and pressuring to see those numbers and all that. Like sometimes it was a big lack of communication. So the guy that I work with, he actually created his own distribution company. And I don't know, through God and some other sources of networking, he was able to do that. So it's, the distribution company, they get a percentage of what you make, but I mean, I don't know how to, I don't know how to answer that, to be honest with you. Like, I guess with us having our own distribution company, I've seen everything. Like, I've seen the numbers. I've seen what my films are generating.
I do know, running a film festival for the past 27 years, the way people consume media has changed film festivals, more so than anything. People work on a film. I'm sure it happens with you, and I'm sure it happens with you. People are going to ask, well, when can I get the YouTube link to watch it?
Yeah.
Never.
Don't put your film online
Yeah.
before you have a premiere or before it gets sold someplace.
Yeah.
Never do that. For one, if it's a short film, especially do not do that because it ruins your chances. Right now, my film festival is eligible to be an Oscar qualifying film festival. I haven't had the time to go through the steps to get that done for a variety of reasons, but that's a big no. If you're an Oscar qualifying film festival, that's a huge no, putting your film online before it happens. Even if you put it on Instagram or Facebook and you think the audience is going to be very small, you lose a chance right there. Film festivals are going to look at that. It's like, well, how many people already saw it? You look at the click numbers and it's like 1,000 people already saw it. So that's 1,000 tickets we probably can't sell. You know? You have to start thinking strategically with your films and with premieres. Because the more film festivals there are, especially in this state, there's more film festivals in this state than probably Illinois. And Illinois is a huger hub. And Illinois does major productions. But we have so many. There's so many upstate, and there's a ton of them downstate. And you've got to plan your film festival. One of the things that always surprises me, and I think that's more indicative of Wisconsin filmmakers, is that they concentrate on local film festivals. When I get a film from someone out of the state, I check the screening history tab. I go, where has this played? And I see all these out of state, not even in their state, out of state. Like if the filmmaker lives in New York, you see like California, you see like Tennessee, Nashville screenings, all this stuff. They're thinking broader in an audience level. If you, for some reason, Wisconsin filmmakers like to circle around the local film festivals. That causes two problems. One, it dilutes each film festival because they're showing the same thing. So people who like to go to the film festival go like, well, I've seen this lineup before at other film festivals. And at the same time, it hurts that filmmaker because if they're not thinking broader and going like, well, maybe I could send my film to the UK for that one, see how it does. That's something I've been wondering about Wisconsin filmmakers for a long time, and I don't know why they do it, but it's very indicative of Wisconsin filmmakers.
So are you saying it's better to send your films out in other states, other places?
I would say, first, if you're a local filmmaker, a local film festival most likely will always take your film, depending on the film festival and what they like to program.
Okay.
People always like to root for hometown people. And if your film is going around, it gets into Sundance or Slam Dance or whatever, you're building buzz. They're going to love you even more when you come back home with all this attention and go like, hey, this film played Sundance. This film played in New York and it won awards. All the film festivals locally are going to be like, yeah, we want to program this one. But then you have to decide which one is going to be your Midwest premiere, which one's going to be your Wisconsin premiere. That a lot of filmmakers outside of Wisconsin plan regionally. They go like, this is going to be my Southwest premiere. This is going to be my East Coast premiere. This is going to be my Midwest premiere. For some reason, Wisconsin filmmakers don't do that. It's something that I've always been curious about. Because when I look at their screening tab, it's all local film festivals. It's something that I think needs to be worked on so they can broaden and get their work out there more. If you just concentrate locally and hit all the festivals in this area, no one's really going to know you outside of the area. So I got one quick story that matches in with this. I have a friend who made a very excellent feature film. It was produced locally here, shot, and it premiered here in Milwaukee. That's where the world premiere was, here in Milwaukee at Milwaukee Film. And he managed to get it in Slamdance. Sundance turned him down, and when I read the Slamdance interview or review of the film, I figured out why Sundance turned them down, even though they loved the film. Because Filmmaker magazine reviewed this film, gave it a glowing review, but for some reason they felt the need to add this into reviews. Like, they're talking about the direction, they're talking about how beautiful. It's a great film. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to put people out there like that. But if you come to me afterwards, I'll tell you the name of the film, and you can try to find it online.
So everybody stand in line.
But Filmmaker magazine slammed them for premiering it in Wisconsin.
Oh,
They're like, he actually said in the review, why the hell did they premiere it in Milwaukee? To them, that was a minus. Because you should have premiered it at Slamdance. You should have premiered it at Tribeca. You know? Milwaukee is not, or Wisconsin is not considered a major movie hub. We're trying to make it a major movie hub, but outside it's not perceived that way.
but then how do you have a creator, that wants to create movies here in Milwaukee or in surrounding areas, but then has it in a mindset right away, hey, don't premiere this in Milwaukee? That kind of just defeats the purpose of, having
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean,
It's cyclical. There's always films at the end of their festival run or in the middle, and like all he's saying is it's a pyramid.
Yeah.
Like the Sundances, Tribecas, Slam Dances, AFI,
Right.
and then your local ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or your regional ones, your big regional ones, and then your local ones. But it also depends. Like, I've been challenging that notion a lot. Like, I was one of those filmmakers when I lived here. I would get rejected by film festivals, and I would take it to heart big time, because all I wanted to do was be successful enough to take care of my family and make them proud doing this. And a rejection letter is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
But I, over time, have learned that I was getting rejection letters because Sundance is not everybody's Sundance. Like, I'm an African American male. My Sundance might be the American Black Film Festival. Like, I won $10,000 and almost won a brand new car at that festival.
Yeah.
Like,
Not the one you crashed.
No, not the one I crashed. But it would have been that. And stuff like that. Like, every film had, I made a film about that the overarching themes were LGBT. I found out that there is a circuit specifically for that, and Frameline might be considered the Sundance of films like that.
yeah.
So, depending on what you're making a film about, so if we get too narrow, we get too tunnel vision about film festivals, we can ruin it. But what he's saying is really important. Like, you have to give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
And although you may want your friends and family to enjoy the film with you, the timing in which you do that should be considered.
Yeah. I run a Wisconsin Film Festival. I'm not saying this to slam Wisconsin Film Festival.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like he said, give yourself a chance and look outside the state first.
I know if I submitted to Ross and it was a really good film, he'd probably tell me, what the hell are you doing? Submitted this to me now. I'll be here next year. Submit this to Sundance. I've had programmers as a matter of fact, Cordillera Film Festival, they have a pitch fest. I won that. Nice. And I'm making a feature film with that money that they gave me. I asked them if I could come back and play the festival, and the first thing the founder said is, you're not going to premiere here, are you? They gave me the money to make the movie, and they don't want me to premiere it at their festival. They feel it could be bigger than that. Because what's best for you is to get that big pop right off the bat. So I absolutely get what he's saying, and it's something to consider depending on where you are in your career and what your goals are. Nice. If your goal is to have a good time with friends and family, come straight to where you know you're loved.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll say this to close up, if you don't mind,
Yeah,
Sammy,
let's do
because it is 4:00.
Yep.
There's ways you can get around premiere status if you're a feature film. Because film festivals, it's getting cutthroat, fighting over premieres to grab feature films at least. But there are ways to get around it. You can call it a screening and have an auditorium for your friends and family here. Or it's a film discussion. Like running the Milwaukee Independent Film Society, I've programmed feature films at venues. And we had a very successful 3-day run last year, was it? I think last year with Taking the City by Storm. But it's the deals I work out. They those filmmakers walked away with half the door. So I gave them a chance to make money, but they still got their premiere without calling it a premiere. You know, you call it a screening or a friends and family screening, but open it to the public. You know, those sorts of things. You work out a deal with the theater. Like I have a deal set in place with theaters where it's like, okay, 50 goes to the venue, 50% goes to the filmmaker. You know, then you're making some money to put towards, festival runs and whatever you need to do with your film afterwards. But we have to wrap up.
Okay, so I'd like to thank everyone here who stayed for the panel, and thank you for coming to Voices Heard discussion panel on Filmmaker's Pitfalls. So my name is Sammy Aumend. This is
Ross Bigley.
Hisonni.
Erin McKenzie.
all right, and thank you again. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.